Hello, everyone, and good evening, and welcome to this session of brought to you by Neutralite Live 360. So, yes, you've heard of this thing, right? Gut feeling. वो सिर्फ फीलिंग के बारे में था आज you will literally understand why that is very very important for your health as well. अगर आपका gut feeling अच्छा है तो सब कुछ अच्छा हो सकता है. We'll take this session ahead and take you through a lot of stuff. Of course, we have the main speaker, but before our main speaker, we are privileged to be hearing twice in a week from our coach, our mentor, Farooq Tarapur, on his, tidbits, on his nuskas, I would say, that are so very important that he has brought from his, 40 plus years of active sporting career, plus even more of guiding people transform their health. He's, of course, received numerous rewards, awards, I would say, because of his sporting career, including the Arjuna Award, including the Chhatrapati Shivaji Award. But it is a reward for all of us that he is taking care of our health and guiding us. Without further ado, let me hand over to Farooq. Farooq, over to you, eagerly listening to what you have to say to us.
Thank you, Veda. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this exciting Friday session. And a happy Independence Day to everybody. On 15th of August, you have your political freedom. But do you really have freedom against medicine? That's a question that you need to ask. And you need to get serious about it. I just hope that you had an early dinner and done some exercise, because I've mentioned this over and over again on this chat, that there's nothing worse than eating a late night dinner and going to sleep. But the exercise part is so critical that if you don't, I'm going to give you a couple of phrases today, and I think it'd be worth noting them down. That if you don't exercise when you can, you will have to do exercise when you can't, and that will be more painful, trust me. Okay, I'll repeat this again. If you don't do exercise when you can, you will have to do exercise when you can't, and that will be very, very painful. So take this a little bit seriously, that, when the going is good, invest a little bit in your health, that you don't have to come into this kind of a scenario. Fortunately, the good news over here that the human body is extremely strong, and it can recover from the really, bad position. But why would you want to make life difficult for you? Why would you not do simple exercises, which can create some sort of an investment, and you have an extra bit with you when you're struck with some kind of a tragedy? Yeah? If you don't take out time for, many people give me excuses that, time name it and all, which is all, BS, because everybody can make the time and everybody has the time. So if you don't make time for your health now, you'll have to make time for sickness. If you don't eat your food today like medicine, you'll be eating medicine like food, and that won't be good either. So it's really important, to get a little bit serious about your health and punch in, whenever you get a little bit of a free time. We have created this beautiful website with the principle that first do no harm. And these are very, very simple exercises, but they are so effective. They are so effective, trust me. Especially the abdominal exercises, the balance exercise, and the blood circulation exercise. Even when sometimes you can't go for a walk, try and do that blood circulation exercise, and you will realize that it's a pretty good substitute. Just like today, there is a lot of research going on that the calves of your leg are your second heart. Similarly, people have now started to realize that there is a massive gut-brain axis, that diseases which were initially thought that they originated from the brain, more and more research is coming out, which is, pointing the finger towards that they basically started from the gut. Problems like Parkinson, problems like Alzheimer. That it reminds me of a joke that two old guys were talking, and one asked the other guy that if you had Parkinson and a for dementia, what would you choose? The other guy says Parkinson for sure. Says, "But the guy with a little bit of whiskey, then don't."
Oh,
Let's not get in.
we are losing you a little bit for some reason. Deepika, you also
Yeah,
seeing that
the audio broke in between while
audio
you were
is
narrating between Parkinson and dementia. Alzheimer's, sorry. The audio broke. You went silent for a bit.
Okay. When did I go silent?
So you were saying that the two people, they say, would you want to be infected, like, diagnosed with Parkinson's or Alzheimer's?
A joke, but they were talking to each other, and one asked, would you prefer Parkinson? Would you? The guy
We're
said,
losing you again, Farooq, in between.
sorry.
Again, we lost you in between for a bit. The audio.
All right. Is it with Parkinson and dementia that is making us lose the audio?
it's just breaking.
So these two guys were, discussing that would you rather have Parkinson or would you have dementia? And the guy says, Parkinson for sure. I say, why Parkinson? Because I would rather spill a little bit of whiskey than don't know where the whiskey bottle is. So, that's a joke, but, let's not reach there where we have to make these kind of choices. I mean, that's the whole purpose of narrating this joke, let's work, because both these things like Parkinson and dementia, okay, don't happen overnight. They happen over an extended period of time. And after, now almost a century, and as late as, about 4 or 5 years ago, there is hardcore evidence which suggests that Parkinson and dementia both start from the gut. So today's topic is a very, very important topic, that when this gut health is all about when you put the food on the plate, ask yourself a question, that is this food going to increase my good bacteria or bad bacteria? And if you know that the answer is, bad bacteria, then change that food. Check what are your motions like, are they sinkers or they floaters? Because this is a combination that will ensure that your gut health keeps on improving on a daily basis. Today we are so much into processed food, we are so much into refined stuff. Forget refined stuff, we have reached refined, super refined, and super refined. So by default we are heading in the wrong direction, and lesser and lesser movement. uh, that Okay, we have to get deliberate about it. We've got to start looking at what is the success we're eating and what is the amount. I'm pretty sure you, in today's day and age, you cannot avoid it completely. All right, but at least you can limit it. And while you limit it, the damage will also be limited. And then if you substitute that with good supplementation program, you are in a good zone. So today you are very fortunate, because you're going to be listening from somebody who's very proud that I love food, and I come from a Punjabi family, and for us food is everything, and we are foodies. But once she got serious about it, she made an amazing transformation which people are so surprised and shocked with. I mean, I hope Deepika will share her before and after journey pictures, because they are so unbelievable that most people think that it's not possible to reach those levels. And she did it in a very nice way, a very scientific way, through the help of the community. So you're very lucky and fortunate to be hearing from Deepika, uh, who really went deep into it and turned her life around. So listen to Deepika very carefully. Over to you, Deepika.
Thank you so much, Farooq. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much, Veda. Well, ladies and gentlemen, um, good evening and a good morning from this side of the world to all of you. Like Farooq rightly said, yes, I have been able to turn around my health and my life, and that is absolutely all thanks to this community, all thanks to Farooq, all thanks to his health nuggets, all thanks to from the day that I have known this man, which is easily over a decade now, he has repeated the same principles over and over again, whether you talk about physical part of it, which is exercise, or you talk about the diet part of it. Nothing has changed from what he used to say from day one. So what does that essentially mean? That we are talking to a person who knows what he's talking, who's researched the health aspect, the diet aspect, the nutrition aspect of it to the T. And he's been saying about gut reset. He's been talking about ab exercises all along. He's been talking about gut being your second brain from day one, which we now hear a lot on the social media. So yes, definitely, gut reset is one of our favorite topics. Let's get into it. Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay. All right. A simple diagram, very relatable diagram. We have grown up, drawing this and explaining this and answering, in exams about this. It's talking about what your digestive system looks like, what is the role of gut when you put anything in your mouth. So starting from your mouth to your salivary glands, that's a diagram we are well versed with. Now, what effectively does gut do essentially? It breaks down the complex nutrients into simpler ones. Up, we eat a variety of food items, from fried to processed, like Farooq said, to absolute raw, which is salads, fruits, and non-veg, etc., etc. कुछ तो science है, there is some science that's happening inside our body, that whatever we eat, that gets broken down, the nutrients get absorbed, the waste gets eliminated. So yes, all of this essentially happens in the gut. The food item which is of no longer of any use or is devoid of any essential nutrients gets eliminated. The complex ones are broken down into simpler ones. Gut microbes, housing, and balance. So in our gut, we will just study in detail. There are millions and millions and millions of bacteria and microbes, good and bad both. What's the role? We learn about it. And hormone production. Most of you who have earlier, attended sessions on the circadian rhythm would have, gone through those slides where we talk about various hormones that get released in our body, and each of those hormones have a different, function. They get released at different time bands during the day and night. So that hormone production happens in our gut. So that is how essential it is. क्या है gut microbiota? What is it? How does it affect us? It's basically the ecosystem of microbes that live in our intestine. Now, our small intestine is a couple of feet long, as much as it may look like a very small part of the entire body, but because it's all intertwined, it's a couple of feet long. And the large intestine relatively is shorter, but a lot of activity happens in both these organs of our body. They are essentially, doing all the hard work of processing the complex kind of food that we eat. There are about 10 times the number of microbial cells in the human gut than in the entire human body. आप सोच के देखिए, the variety of food that we eat. I mean, there is, I, at times one wonders that how is it that no matter what you eat, 99% of the time in an average healthy adult, all of it gets, nicely digested in our body. It totally roughly, it's roughly about 100 trillion microbes and 5,000 different types of species. So all of that is just residing in that small portion in our body called gut. Roughly weighs about 2 kgs in weight. And this is how the food moves, or these are the functions of a gut microbiota. Definitely, because the food is getting digested, it makes sure that whatever nutrients need to be absorbed from the food that you have eaten, because if you're eating food and the nutrition is not getting absorbed, it's an absolute waste, plus your body will not be able to function for a long period of time. So yes, absorption of nutrients, it helps digestive tract to function properly, because your food is moving through the entire gut. From your stomach it is going to other parts, small intestine, large intestine, and then being excreted. If the food is not moving properly in your gut, it can cause some severe damage and harm and discomfort to you on a daily basis. It also creates a barrier against pathogens and toxins. So the food that we eat, definitely, we eat processed food, we eat food which has been, on the shelf for a very long period of time, we eat out, we order in. For sure, the food that we are eating also carries certain pathogens, and there is a requirement, some kind of a barrier, some kind of a wall for that to not affect the rest of our body and our immune system. So, your gut microbiota creates that barrier so that it doesn't get affected. It also produces short chain fatty acids. These are beneficial metabolites. We'll study about it in the coming slides, and also plays a defensive role in development of immune system. If our immunity gets compromised because of the external bacteria or viral infection, that viral definitely not, but bacterial infection through the food that we are eating or the environment that we live in, it will definitely compromise, or it will definitely jeopardize our immune system. For us to keep our immune system 10 on 10, you need to have some kind of a wall, some kind of a barrier, and that is exactly what gut microbiota does in protecting your immune system. Now, like we've repeatedly said in most of our slides, when a child is born, Mother Nature gifts you with two types of bacteria. One is called bacteroidetes, the other is called firmicutes. The bacteroidetes are the good guys, that's why they're in green. The firmicutes are the bad guys, that's why they're in orange. So, a little bit of alarm. Now, the proportion of good bacteria versus bad bacteria when we are born, we come into this world, is about 85 to 15%. So you have 85% good bacteria, you have 15% not so good or a bad bacteria. What happens over the years, because of the lifestyle that we lead, the food that we eat, the workout that we don't do, all of this entire ratio gets completely reversed. So by the time you are you're a teenage or a young adult, this equation, this ratio would become 15% bacteroidetes and about 80 to 85% firmicutes. Hence, you will see that in grown-ups, oftentimes, or even in young teens, you will often see they would have a very weak digestion. They would have, they'll not be able to process food very regularly. People will have IBS problems. They can have constipation problems. Like Farooq said, their stool quality may not be optimum. So, it reflects the health of your gut. So what you need to do when you join, people who have been a part of this group would know that the first thing that we strongly recommend is for you to join us and complete, enroll for the gut reset program. Now, why gut reset program? Now, the gut reset program, essentially, what will it do? It will reverse the bad ratio or proportion of good bacteria versus firmicutes. It will restore good bacteria back into your system to the optimum amount, which is about 80 to 85%, and it will eliminate the bad bacteria, which is firmicutes, back to about 15 to 20%. Why is it important? Because if you have a healthy gut, it will reflect clearly on your skin. How many times have you heard actually, youngsters, teenagers, even adults talking about the fact that, they're having breakouts in their skin, they're having acne, they're having pimples, they're having blemishes, etc., etc. All of this is a clear reflection of a disbalanced gut, if I may say so. Definitely, your immunity gets compromised, because if your gut is not performing on a proper optimum level, it will not create a barrier and your immunity gets impacted. It'll definitely affect your mood, because if you are having stomach related issues, if you're any of these issues that I've just mentioned, you will definitely not be in the best of your mood and spirits. It will cause you stress, because each time if you're eating and you're having belching, or you're having acid reflux or acidity, etc., etc., it will give you stress because you're not happy with the way your body is functioning at that point of time. And if you're not having a healthy gut, definitely you will not get a good sleep. And because you will not get a good sleep, because you are stressed, because you're having mood swings, it'll definitely, by the end of the day or in the next couple of days, start reflecting and impacting other functions in your body and other organs also in your body. Because pretty simply put, if you have an acid reflux, your entire pipe gets impacted. The same food that's supposed to probably move to another direction in your body is coming back into your esophagus, is coming back into your food pipe. It'll definitely impact. And yes, an unhealthy gut could result in massive weight loss. It could result in massive weight gain. It'll affect the digestion. It'll affect the metabolism. It'll affect your energy levels. Definitely food cravings ho sakti hain, or you may just get averse to food and not eat, leading to severe deficiency of essential vitamins and minerals. And deficiency or excess of these vitamins and minerals can definitely affect your joints. It can affect your heart, your brain, and other vital organs. So, simply put, before you actually get onto a healthy journey of achieving ideal weight, it could be probably you're here for weight gain, you are here for weight loss, or you're here for having an absolutely spot on 10 health with a great immunity and great flexibility in your body, no matter what it is. The first thing that you need to do is you need to go through the gut reset program. Look at it like this, probably the door outside your house, you see a lot of puddles and you see a lot of potholes. So rains are there happening all over India right now. What is a better idea? Is it a better idea to just lay a proper one layer and have the road roller walk over it, so that the next time it rains again, those potholes come, they pop up and they open up, etc.? Or is it important that you first clean those potholes, you make sure that they are filled in properly, they are level to the existing road, and then probably you coat two or three or one or two layers on top of it and fix it like that? Our health is exactly the same. If you try shortcut measures, if you try कि okay आज ये problem हो रही है, इसको address कर लेते हैं, and not maybe the holistic health, and not maybe getting into gut reset. Oftentimes I've seen people who come on the group, I know of people who have negotiated with me कि gut reset नहीं हो सकता, but I can do the rest of the thing. Yes, you can. And it's not that it's not going to affect you. But then we are not looking at 100% reversal of the problem for which you have joined. And we are not looking for a long term and sustainable result from this. In fact, Farooq always says that, uh, you can go in for a gut reset probably once in 6 months if you feel that there are certain, signs, or, you can see in terms of your gut health, in terms of your stool, in terms of your overall health. You can repeat a gut reset once in 3 months, once in 6 months, once in a year, depending upon how you want to. But if you're thinking that, you can negotiate on this and probably take up the rest of the program, you're the one who's not going to get the kind of results that you want to. So very, very important to, before you begin any journey on this community, make sure you 100% do a 10-day gut reset. Why a 10-day gut reset? We'll just talk about it. Now, just a comparison between an unhealthy gut versus a healthy gut. We all know, we just spoke about a couple of these factors. Food sensitivities are much higher in an unhealthy gut vis-a-vis, in a healthy gut, the tolerance is much higher. There's a lot of bloating in an unhealthy gut. You will pass excess gas. It can have an inconsistent stool. You will not feel better or good after eating. You probably feel guilty, or you feel a little sick. Skin imbalances, sleep disturbances. You will constantly be fatigued. Why? Because your gut is not able to absorb the essential nutrients that it is supposed to from the food. Because it's not absorbing, your body is depleting on those. Because your body is depleting on those, hence it's not able to perform at the optimum level. Because it's not able to perform at the optimum level, you feel fatigued. Mental health imbalances, weakened immune system, we've just discussed that. Contrast to this, a healthy gut, you can tolerate most foods. You will not have any bloating. Your, IBS will be taken care of. You will have regular stools, so no constipation. You will feel energetic after eating rather than feeling sapped out. Your skin will glow. Your hair will show that you're eating proper balanced meal. You will sleep, have a peaceful sleep at night. Energy is consistent because you're feeling good, the health is good, the gut is happy, the other organs are taken care of, the nutrition levels, nutrition tanks are full. So you will not have too much of stress and anxiety. And definitely your immunity will be rock solid 10 on 10. So you will not fall prey to the infections that are floating all around us, the seasonal allergies, etc. So that will even help you keep that at bay. Now, how does it get compromised? क्या क्या ऐसी बातें हैं, क्या ऐसी habits हैं जो हम करते हैं which actually compromise our gut? Very simple. Smoking, drinking, excessive refined sugar because it has very high content of sulfur, and plus it definitely greatly impacts your pancreas. Caffeine, excess caffeine. Somebody like me, um, I remember the days when probably I used to average around 5 to 6 cups of tea every single day with sugar. And I used to like my tea. If my one line statement was that don't give me tea, but if you're giving me my tea, I need it nice and sweet. So yeah, so 5 to 6 cups, you can actually do the math how much it was. From that coming down to probably just max to max 1 cup a day, or not even that, because like Farooq says, you don't need tea and coffee, to be very honest. You can stay high on other health aspects. So oils and saturated fats, we are, like Farooq just rightly said, we are eating out of packets. We are eating a lot of processed food. We are eating a lot of frozen stuff. We would get those packets and we'll store it in our refrigerators and freezers. We would pull out a packet, heat it, whatever. All of this greatly impacts your health. Processed foods, dairy, excessive dairy. I think in mammals, human is the only species that continues to drink, consume milk and milk products throughout their lifetime. Technically speaking, there are other forms of milk like soy milk and almond milk, etc. You do not need the regular dairy milk because it has recent research says that it really disrupts your gut microbiota as well. And mutton over meat in excess in any form could be again your processed meat or even the raw meat, because the problem is that the demand versus supply is there's a big gap. So the demand is much higher, the supply is still controlled. So what happens is that most of the manufacturers or people who are dealing in this industry, they get into malpractices to increase the production. They would probably feed the cattle with a lot of steroids. They would probably feed them with a lot of some kind of growth hormones, which in the long run will impact you and your family's health greatly. And definitely poor sleep and lifestyle. Veda and I, we repeatedly talk about this, that try and restrict your exposure to the blue light which comes out of our devices at least 2 hours before you go to sleep. Now, like Farooq also said, that yes, you cannot keep all of this at bay and just be absolutely idealistic about whatever we are talking. But the more you can do, if not 1.5, if not 2 hours, probably 1.5 hour, that's the least that you can do. But when we sleep with our phones and we wake up with our phones, which essentially 99.9% people are doing, in the long run, it will start affecting your health greatly. Now, there are 4 pillars to absolute great health and 4 pillars that can support your gut. Definitely healthy food practices. Like Farooq says, that exercise is extremely important. We've learned it. I have learned this lesson the hard way. Exercise is, you eating good food, you're eating clean, you're eating healthy, but if you're not working out, uh, it will not reflect as much in your health. I mean, I'll give you a simple example. You have a glass of water, you add sugar in it, and you let it sit. When you let it sit, it's going to actually sit. But if you probably take a spoon and you stir it nicely, the sugar will get absorbed, completely dissolved in water. Essentially, the same principle applies to the food that you eat. No matter how good food and how nourishing food and how clean food you eat, if you don't exercise, the body which has absorbed all those nutrients, it'll not be able to ensure that all those nutrients reach all parts of your body. Needs to reach every cell, but for that you need to move. You need to get up probably every half an hour. If you have a desk job, you need to look for options. You need to look for little windows where you can probably walk to the grocery store, not probably call in your food or your groceries, etc. Take the stairs. Going down the stairs in itself is also a very big activity. So people who feel they cannot go up the stairs to begin with, walk down the stairs. That also ensures a little bit of exercise. Then lifestyle. You sleep better. When you sleep better, you have less anxiety, you're less stressed, and definitely supplementation. Now, a lot of people say that why are supplements important? I mean, we get our food from organic stores. Organic stores, there are a lot of contributors to giving you an organic meal on your plate. So you need the air in which the food is being grown needs to be absolutely, pollution free and organic. The water which is used for irrigation needs to be absolutely as per the quality mark. The soil needs to be as per the quality mark. The seeds need to be they should not be gene modified seeds. And when you're talking about these four parameters, where in our country do you think would, at the top of your mind, would you know that the crop is being grown with all these parameters in place? It doesn't happen that way. I'm not going to get into that detail, but yes, supplementation is essentially required because the food that we are eating and the essential nutrients that our body needs, there's a wide gap. For you to supplement all those vitamins and minerals and nourishment for your body, you will not get it from just the food that you're eating because of the adulteration practices, because of the agricultural practices. You need to supplement it with some form of supplementation, which is extremely important. Now, why, before I do that, when I'm talking about supplementation, it is to bridge that gap of the amount that you need and the amount that you're actually getting. If you may choose to not take supplements today, or probably take care of that gap today, you will eventually be eating some or the other form of medicine slash supplement at a later point in time, because for your body to work optimally, it needs that. So you need to decide that would you like to eat, like Farooq rightly said, supplements as your food today, or would you like to eat medicines as your food tomorrow? So that is a call that you need to take. Why gut reset that I initially talked about? Research says that whatever food that you eat today, on an average, it takes 7 to 10 days for that food to get completely, for it to be absorbed and get completely eliminated from your body. Now, this window of 7 to 10 days could be 5 days for an individual, could be 10 days for another individual. So that's why we talk about a 10-day window. It aims to restore the balance of the gut microbiome by removing the foods which are harmful, which has the firmicutes, the harmful bacteria. They can cause inflammation, they can cause irritation in your gut. What essentially a gut reset does, it restores the gut balance by introducing these probiotic food. Now, what is a probiotic food? Which feeds the beneficial bacteria, which encourages a healthy lifestyle. So you have prebiotics and you have probiotics. We'll talk about it. Like I just said, a week's duration is required to implement the detoxifying food. There are certain things that we will ask you to stay at bay and eliminate from your food plate for just 10 days. And thereafter, we would want you to restrict the quantity of those food items like caffeine and non-veg and dairy products, etc. But once you have done a 10-day gut reset, I think 99% of people who've gone through the 10-day gut reset with us could see the difference in their health and the problem that they were having within the first 4 to 5 days. They saw a significant impact in their health related issue within the first 5 days. And after the 10 days, uh, they were quite satisfied with the results that they saw. Now, what are the symptoms that you need to look out for? Like I said, that you can do it probably once a year, or once in 6 months, or once in 4 months, depending upon what those symptoms look like. Temporary worsening of symptoms during gut reset. Sorry, when you're doing a gut reset, what essentially can happen, what you can feel in the first few days, worsening of symptoms could be normal, or that's an expected part of the process. You could feel the change. So we feel a little deprived of the sugar, we feel a little deprived of the caffeine, we feel a little deprived of the other unhealthy habits that we are doing that can affect your mood swings. These food items are highly inflammable foods. They cause a lot of inflammation in your body. So yes, they do give you a quick fix of energy, but in the long run, not good. Our body has not built up the strength and the ability to produce its own serotonin and energy. So it's just a temporary change that you need to take care of. The body needs to accept it so that you can start to rebuild a healthy cell in your body and get rid of the bad bacteria, which is firmicutes. Okay. What are the components of gut reset? What do you need to do when you get into this kind of thing? You need to listen to your gut. But another important thing that Farooq says, that your body talks to you, you just need to understand that language. You need to see the changes that are happening, adopt this habit in the starting few days, and you need to complete the 10-day gut reset. Don't think about it, okay, let me just do it for 7 days. I can do it for about 5 days, then I have to travel, etc., etc. When you're starting, complete the gut reset for 10 days and see the visible difference. Remove the gut disturbing things. When you join, when you decide to get onto the gut reset, a lot of information is already available. Speak to your health buddy. They will clearly give you the instructions about what you need to avoid and what you need to include in your meal plates. Make the changes in your set. Calm down, give time to yourself, give time to your food, sit down and eat, probably focus on what you're eating rather than, probably watching TV and with distractions. Your gut brain axis also starts getting reset, and it rejuvenates the gut, results in a happy gut. The habits that you need to change: you need to chew your food properly. uh, Luckily, for as long as I know, I've been the slowest eater in my family, and post wedding, post my marriage also, I'm still the slowest eater. So I see people really quickly eating their food. You preparing a food, you're ordering in a food, you're eating out, at least enjoy the food that you're eating. Yes, I understand you may not be able to chew every morsel with, about 32 times, but not chewing it for more than 3 to 4 times also puts a lot of unnecessary pressure on your gut to digest that food. So yes, get into an exercise mode. Could be any form of workout which which you enjoy. Could be swimming, could be cycling, could be gymming, could be a walk, could be yoga, whatever works. Yes, and please align your body with the circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm, simply put, though it's a very complicated subject, simply put, start your day probably when the sun rises. Try and end your day. When I say end your day, I'm talking about your eating patterns. End your day when the sun sets. Eating late into the night, late into the evening when the sun has already set also will put a lot of impact. I think if you can probably wind up your dinner by 7 o'clock, that's the latest, you will see the impact that it has on your body within 4 to 5 days. I'm not kidding. You will see a very stark difference in the way you sleep, in the way you wake up, the way your food gets digested, the way your bowels are clear on time. It really helps. And yes, sleeping helps to reset the gut microbiome. A good solid 8 hours sleep, wherein probably you are away from the blue light exposure for at least hour and a half before you go to sleep, will give you a very peaceful sleep cycle. You will wake up well rested and ready for the day that's ahead of you. The 4 hours of gut health that we're going to be talking about, the first one is just remove and replace. So you're removing all the bad things from your gut and making sure it's clean, and you're replacing it with all the good things that will help, in maintaining your gut health. So you remove the carbohydrates, the refined carbohydrates. All carbohydrates are not bad. Complex carbohydrates are your best friends. So please remove just the refined carbohydrates or the simple ones and saturated fats. And you need to replace it with complex carbohydrates, healthy fats, and high quality plant based protein. Now, a protein, again, if you simple calculation, if you're of 60 kgs weight, you need 1 gram per kg body weight for an average individual, which means you need about 60 grams of protein on us every single day basis. 50% of it should be probably consumed during breakfast, and the rest of it be split around 35% in your lunch and 15% in your dinner, because post dinner you really are not in a very active mode. And try and get this from a plant-based source. We strongly and only recommend Nutrilite all plant protein powder, because one, it's absolutely plant-based. It has zero sugar, zero carbs. It's absolutely doesn't have a taste. It takes the taste of the dish that you put it in, and it has a PDCA score of 1, which is protein digestibility corrected amino acid score, which means whatever protein you're eating, 100% of it gets absorbed in your body, so nothing gets wasted. And second aspect of your gut reset is rebalance and reset. So you rebalance the gut microbiome with a lot of fiber and prebiotics rich food, which is basically food for the probacteria in your gut. It aids in digestion and body metabolism, supports your immune system, and a lot of other aspects of your health. and reset your body. So when you have, you had that road with a lot of potholes, you cleaned those potholes, you removed it, then you replaced it with good, concrete or whatever it's required to maintain the health of the road. Then you rebalance. So you put another layer of road on top of that, and then you reset your body. So the road or your gut is ready. Your digestive system with high quality plant based protein with good bacteria, which repairs your gut cells, resets your body system, and with beneficial functional foods. Now, some healthy tips for a healthy gut include a lot of whole grains. India has always been a very millet oriented country. It's been in a recent past that we switched to, refined flours like maida, etc., and probably wheat, which is without the actual fiber. So yes, whole grains, no matter they may be your pulses, they may be your millets, whatever it is, the more whole it is, along with the fiber, the better it is. Opt for a plant-based food. There is no vitamins or minerals or other forms of macronutrients that you cannot get from a vegetarian diet. The more you stick to it, the happier your body will be. Yes, we have always from time immemorial talked about fermentation. India has been very high on fermented foods because they have good bacteria in them and they help reset your gut to its optimum level. And now even Harvard Medical School says that the naturally fermented foods are good source of probiotics and they increase the strength of your gut microbiome. And definitely avoid drinks like alcohol. Try avoid drinks like your aerated or fizzy drinks. Like Farooq said, I always loved good food, cooking, eating, ordering, and etc. And having one nice, aerated drink with at least one meal a day, at least, we would drink it like water with food, which most people do. Because uske bagair we used to feel, we're not, the food is not really getting digested. That is not the case. You need to probably drink water half an hour before you eat your meal and probably half an hour later. Avoid drinking water along with your meal. And yes, because these kind of fizzy drinks and alcohol and juices and beverages, they increase a lot of inflammation, they cause a lot of bloating, constipation, and most importantly, they don't let the food in your stomach get digested well and broken down well. So what happens is that either it remains like that for a longer period of time, goes stale, and then gets eliminated without the absorption of any nutrients from the food. Okay, encourage a lot of hydration. Another, quote of Farooq is that, you need to drink your food and you need to eat the water. What does that mean? That means that you need to chew your food so much that it becomes absolutely fluid so that your gut and your stomach has to do least amount of work. And you need to eat your water, which means you need to sip your water slowly, little by little, and not gush it down because one, that will not help. The faster you drink, the faster it gets eliminated. And two, it will put unnecessary pressure on your kidneys. You don't want that because that will also cause, the essential salts to be eliminated from your body with the gushing water. So yes, drink a lot of water. Dehydration may affect your digestion, leading to constipation, hardened stool, bloating, and other digestive issues. And also, water helps in eliminating a lot of toxins from your body because it's a mediator. It's through in this medium that the not only the food gets digested, it moves in your gut. It also gets eliminated from your body. Water also acts as a medium to provide nourishment to various parts of your body and all the cells in your body. So yes, it helps maintain the health of your intestinal lining. It plays a crucial role in absorption of the nutrients and the immune function. Okay, engage in physical exercise. Nothing can replace a good workout. No matter how much you may say that, I ate healthy, I didn't have time, etc., etc. Those are excuses you're giving yourself, but they may not run good for you in the long run. What does essentially a physical exercise do to us? Yes, it increases the diversity of gut bacteria. It'll have more diverse amount of gut bacteria. The more diverse a gut bacteria, the healthier your gut will be. It produces endorphins. I have always, because I've always been on the other side of the weighing scale, each time I would try to lose weight, I would go out for morning walks for say about a week, 10 day, feel really excited, feel really high on energy. Oh my God, why didn't I do this earlier? This is something I can do for the rest of my life. And yet probably in a month's time or less than a month's time, I would, something would come up. I had to travel, etc., etc. आज exercise नहीं कर पाए because travel करना था. आज exercise नहीं कर पाए because somebody came. But when you actually do work out, whether it's in the form of a walk or workout or gym or etc., your body releases a lot of endorphins, which make you feel good. You really feel, in charge of your health. It improves your posture. It definitely manages your weight, which is one of the most important things. It relieves stress. You feel as if you are more in control of your life. You're more in control of your day. You're more in control of your body. And definitely because you've done your 40 minutes or 1 hour workout, you are free from the stress or free from the guilt that you've not worked out today. So definitely helps improve your mental performance. Now it's showing a little bit of pictorial representation that when you have low or little physical activity versus intense or high physical activity, how does your cardiorespiratory fitness work? So pathogen species, you can see there's a microbial diversity that happens when you are because a lot of short chain fatty acids are produced. So it'll improve your cardiorespiratory fitness when you work out a little more. Okay, now what is the gut brain axis? Farooq said that gut is your second brain, and a lot of focus and research and studies going on that. The gut brain axis is a term which we use for the communication that's happening between your gut and your brain. These two organs are connected both physically and biochemically. How many times has it happened that you've heard a news which is a little disturbing or alarming or a bad news, and suddenly you feel, oh my God, you feel this tight knot in your gut? Because what happens is the moment your body is under stress, your mind is under stress, the entire focus goes on protecting your gut. The entire focus goes on, giving you those knots in your tummy, because that's literally the second brain. So there are changes in your gut microbiota when there is a lot of stress in your mind, stress in your around you. It'll alter the microbiota of your gut, which will significantly impact all those parameters that we talked about, whether that's your immune system, whether that's your mood swings, whether that's your stress levels, and the entire digestive process. It will cause a lot of inflammation in your body, resulting in other significant changes in your vital organs as well as the overall physiology of your body. So one needs to make sure that your gut reset is in place. One needs to also make sure that your gut brain axis is in its optimum situation, optimum place. Now, significance of morning nutrition. I, for one, when I wanted to lose weight each time, I would give up on my breakfast because I thought, oh, 2 meals a day is fine. And, I don't need to have breakfast. What essentially was happening was in all those years, I was depriving my body of those essential nutrients that it required to get started for the day and get ready for the day. As a result, around 12 o'clock every day, I would probably binge eat, and then I would probably pop in a painkiller because my head would be blowing by that time, and I would have severe headaches. Most of you already know those stories. Why do you need a proper morning nutrition, which has about 50% of your daily protein requirement along with good fats and fiber? Because at that point of time, your body's metabolic rate is down. You're already sleeping for about 6 to 8 hours average. Your insulin sensitivity and glucose tolerance is much low. Your protein balance is absolutely negative, and there is an alteration in your gut bacteria. But the moment you get up, what happens is when we are sleeping, we've covered it in the past also, your body goes every night when you sleep, certain hormones get released, which are the repair and healing organs, healing hormones that work on your body, on the wear and tear that has been caused in the last couple of days or that particular day. So your protein balance is low. Physical inactivity nahi hai, so your metabolic rate goes down. But when you wake up in the morning, you need all these macro and micronutrients to get started. You need your metabolic rate to go high so that it burns more calories. You also need those hormones to be re-released in your body during the daytime to perform those optimum functions. So if you're probably starting your day on a negative balance of your macro and micros, how further do you think your body can stretch to perform optimally? It's like probably starting your car in the morning, which already has a petrol or a fuel on a negative balance. How far do you think your car would actually go? So yes, protein takes care of the repair and maintenance and support of your gut health. You need protein. Protein is one macronutrient that your body does not save or store for a future usage. So whatever protein you consume today, Whatever excess remains in your body by the end of the day gets eliminated, and your body needs fresh protein the next day. You need fiber because that also helps in your gut motility. It helps in moving food. The more fiber you eat, the easier it is for your food to move and get digested and broken down. So it is also a food for your gut bacteria. And yes, probiotics, they are better compliance. They need efficient reach, and probiotics will work very well for your entire gut microbiome and the entire environment of your gut. Cool. Role of protein, basically. So what it does, it acts as a gut barrier. It doesn't allow unnecessary toxins to seep into your gut. Gut motility and secretion. Gut motility is the pace at which the food moves in your gut, and the nutrients get secreted or absorbed. Generate beneficial gut metabolites. It also addresses gut inflammation and supports your immune function. So these this is essentially why, and when we actually look at the research figures, or when we talk to people, people are not even consuming 50% of their daily protein requirement. What essentially that means is that in the longer run, when we talk about a couple of years later or a couple of months later from today, you will be severely depleted, and some or the other aspect of your health will get compromised because of this protein deficiency. Now, dietary fiber, which is prebiotics. Prebiotics are type of fiber that our body cannot digest. They only serve as a food for the beneficial bacteria which resides in our gut. Some examples are chicory roots, dandelion greens, garlic, oats, and barley. Now, what happens is they enhance the production of beneficial metabolites. They also improve the gut nutrition absorption in your body. They reduce the risk of metabolic disorders in your gut. The other examples are flax seeds, artichoke, chia seeds, etc. We've heard about, we are all very, very well versed with what we are supposed to eat on a daily basis, thanks to social media and thanks to the information which is provided on this platform. What is really important is how much of it are we actually incorporating? Because I think we've seen it on the group, people who are sharing their plates, who are taking inputs from Farooq and Anayata, are able to turn around their health for good, which is very visible. So yes, these also improve the immunity and decrease the risk of any kind of allergies, promotion of growth with beneficial gut microbes. There are two types of fibers that are available. One are soluble, the other is insoluble. The word itself is very self-explanatory. Soluble are the ones which dissolve in water. Insoluble are the ones which do not dissolve in water. There's another few key characteristics of soluble are it promotes satiety. So you feel fuller for longer. So once you've had those, you will probably not binge. It helps lower your cholesterols. It improves your blood sugar levels significantly. They are found in apple, beans, nuts, oatmeal, and sweet potatoes and lentils. They also help move food through the gut just at the right pace. So why do we people say that you need to include fiber in your body? Because that will ensure the movement of gut and elimination of unnecessary waste from your body on a regular basis. And yes, it helps feed the beneficial bacteria. Vis-a-vis the insoluble, it promotes laxation, it supports your intestinal health. It is found in wheat, leafy greens, quinoa, brown rice, etc. And it creates a lot of bulk in your stool and also supports your bowel health. So you need to have a perfect balance of both of these in your daily diet. The power of probiotics is that it acts as a gut microbiota's management tool. क्या काम है इसका? आपके immune system को 10 on 10 रखेगा, आपके immune system को strong रखेगा so that you don't fall prey to any kind of infections, viral or bacterial. It produces enzymes in your body. Sorry, I'll go reverse. So what happens is it produces short chain fatty acids. ये क्या करते हैं? आपके बैरियर फंक्शन को इम्प्रूव करते हैं, अननेसेसरी टॉक्सिन्स को आपके गट में रिलीज नहीं होने देते. बिकॉज दोज अननेसेसरी टॉक्सिन्स आर नॉट रिलीज्ड, it also manufactures small molecules which will impact your entire body. It will result in certain enzyme productions which will help improve your immune system to a very great extent, keep it in an absolute perfect condition so that you're able to ward off any kind of unnecessary infection. Now, what we recommend again is Neutralites pre and probiotic capsule. What they actually do, they're clinically demonstrated to improve your bowel function. Like most people who come onto the program, they face this kind of an issue, an irritable bowel syndrome, etc., they would either have constipation. It also influences the beneficial bacteria in the gut. It supports the immunity, आपके immunity levels को ऊपर लेके जाएगा, digestion को improve करता है. It helps in digesting protein and carbs. Now, why do we say include a lot of protein in your food? Because one, it promotes satiety. You will feel fuller for longer, and your body takes a lot of time to break down the protein. So when you are having a good a prebiotic with it, it will help in digestion of protein and also the carbohydrates. And it has also shown anti-inflammatory properties. Now, a lot, we've been hearing a lot about, the anti-inflammatory diet. A lot of people are talking about not eating, inflammation causing foods and be on an anti-inflammatory. This is exactly what it does. The prebiotic and the probiotic, it has shown anti-inflammatory properties in the gut. So which means it'll probably reduce the inflammation in the gut, which in itself will be a big benefit to maintain optimum health in your body. Okay, this is like absolute what we call, the Suraksha Kavach when you get started. We have the Neutralite all plant protein powder. I just spoke about it, the Neutralite fiber and the Neutralite pre and probiotic capsules. In how many ways can you incorporate it in your daily diet and daily routine? Speak to your health buddy. There are phenomenal recipes that Veda has repeatedly shared in the group, and we can reshare them for you if you would like. And so, what is it that your meal plate should look like? One of our favorite topics, always, always, we're seeing a lot of activity on the community and the group recently. Fantastic. A big shout out to all those participants who are doing that. This is how your meal plate should look like. 25% of your meal plate should have good vegetarian sourced protein. 25% of it should have complex carbs, and about 50% of your plate should have fiber. That is the importance of fiber in our daily diet. So yes, there are a lot of examples we can give you state wise, region wise, lot of recipes, lot of ideas that's there with us available for you to actually incorporate in your daily life. Some of the do's, yes, have lots of fresh fruits, fresh vegetables in your diet. Include prebiotics in terms of fermented food or whichever way you would like to. Stay hydrated, drink enough water. You can have, probably infuse it with a little bit of mint. You can infuse it with lemon. You can infuse it with soft jeera, etc., which can flavor your water and not, probably have your, juices and aerated and sugary drinks. Avoid those. Chew your food thoroughly before you actually swallow. Manage your stress through any activity which calms your mind. Could be listening to music, could be writing, could be reading, etc. Could be meditation. Include a lot of fiber in your diet. Try and get enough sleep. About 6 to 8 hours is the ideal. Eat preferably during the daylight. So respect the circadian rhythm for it to completely complement and reward your body by doing so. Include at least one fermented food every day. It could be, any form that you like. Consume nutrient dense food rather than calorie dense. Opt for a plant-based food as much as you can, because the non-vegetarian food does not have enough nutrients that it is supposed to. Rather, it has a lot of unwanted things going in your body in terms of steroids and chemicals. And give a gap of at least 2 hours between your dinner and bedtime. And trust me, people who have kind of adopted the life of finishing their dinner by 7 o'clock and probably winding up by 10:30, 11 have been very, very happy with the results of this kind of a lifestyle. Some of the don'ts we've already discussed, but I'll just run through them. Yes, avoid sugar, avoid junk food, processed food, avoid smoking, drinking. Too much of spicy food is also not good for you. Form of caffeine in terms of tea, coffee, green tea. Green tea is a very misused word. People say, oh, green tea is very good for health. This is good for weight loss. Anything in excess is bad. You don't need to have a cup of green tea every day. Leave aside having 2 to 3 cups. Processed packaged food, an absolute no-no. If you're wanting to achieve a great health for yourself, don't consume calorie dense food. Animal-based food, like I said, don't spend time on screens during your lunch and during your, before going to bed. And definitely avoid dairy food and dairy-based food products. And finally, please, 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 we would like to end all our presentations with shine. Start your day with a lot of gratitude and optimism. Trust me, a lot of people around the world will not be seeing tomorrow morning's sun. I'm sorry to say that, but when you wake up and you see the beauty that the nature has around you, just be thankful for that if you have nothing else to be thankful for. Have your daily nutrition, in terms of your mental nutrition, for your mental health, and for your physical health. Supplement it well so that tomorrow you don't have to resort to any kind of medicines to supplement or cover up for those nutrients. Intentions and visualize, set clear intentions. You don't, I mean, most of us don't know the power of thought, the power of visualization, the power of setting down a goal. In the lightest of forms, very unintended was the time when I probably thought of getting onto this journey and probably looking at a certain weight, which I was never in my life, ever. I don't even remember when was I that, but I just, thanks to all this that we've been learning from Farooq and Aita, Raj and Anu, I thought of it. And yes, thanks to this community, I was able to turn that around for myself and achieve whatever I had thought and visualized. Learn something new every day. If you are living, if you're breathing, if you're alive, if you're kicking, learn something new every day. It'll keep you going. It'll keep you younger and happier for a much longer period of time. And I've said enough, but I will still say so. Exercise daily, whatever floats your boat, swimming, cycling, jogging, cardio, yoga, dancing, whatever it is, Pilates, etc. Exercise daily. It'll keep you kicking alive for a very, very long period of time. And as promised, this is my transformation thanks to this program, thanks to constant, health nuggets from Farooq. Kabhi na kabhi to asar karna tha. Even, for a person, a dheet person like me, if I may say so. But thanks to Farooq, thanks to all his guidance, more than the physical transformation, it is the way I look at food today. Rather than being scared, I'm happy eating the food that I do. And I know that even if probably now for a change, I go in for a cheat meal, my mind is quickly racing as to how can I probably make sure that I detoxify whatever I've eaten today, no matter what it is. So yes, the mindset has changed, which has helped me maintain this for almost about 1.5 years now. And with the way we are going, I know this is going to be my lifestyle forever. Because once you know the benefits of eating neat and clean and having a good health, you can never unlearn that kind of a thing. So that's all from my side. Over to you, Veda. I know I've really jumped the time today, but
That's
yeah.
that's Thank you so much, Deepika. That was a very, very important topic. And of course, gut reset is important to understand. And thanks for sharing your transformation journey. I know we have overshot, but I do want to share because there are some more of you who have joined. Few nuggets that Farooq said and two lines. If you don't exercise when you can, you will have to when you can't, and that'll be very painful. If you don't eat food like medicine today, then you will be eating medicine for food. I'll leave you with that. You take care and join us again next coming Monday, 9 p.m. for another topic. Till then, stay safe, take care, and be healthy. Exercise, eat well. Good night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.